If you're a school leader, you already know you need an AI policy. But actually getting from "we need a policy" to actually having one that works, yeah, that can feel totally paralyzing. Today, we're going to break down that paralysis with a practical guide to get you and your team moving.
And let's just start with a number that shows how common this feeling really is. According to the EdWeek Research Center, a pretty staggering 79% of educators say their districts have no clear guidance on AI. So, if you feel like you're kind of in the dark here, you are so not alone. So, what's causing this widespread gridlock? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into the 4 key roadblocks that stop good intentions right in their tracks. And more importantly, for each one, we'll give you a practical way to get around it, starting today.
First up, let's talk about challenge number 1, the AI policy gridlock. This is that super frustrating gap between knowing you need a policy and actually having one that works for your teachers and students in the real world. And look, this problem is real. Even in districts that have policies, 60% of educators feel the rules are unclear to them and their students. That means that policy isn't actually solving anything. It's just sitting on a shelf somewhere.
And this quote really puts a human face on that statistic. A tech coach from Virginia just nails it. It's this fear of doing it wrong that leads to what folks are calling policy paralysis. And it just leaves everyone stuck in a confusing gray area.
Okay, so how do we actually break this gridlock? The answer, and it's a powerful one, is to embrace the power of good enough. This is all about creating immediate, practical guidance right now without waiting for that perfect, all-encompassing policy that might never even come.
And the place to start is with something called a minimal viable policy. Just think of it as a simple set of ground rules, right? This isn't the giant, final, district-wide document. It's a quick, agile way for a department or a grade-level team to create some consistency right away.
And you can literally start building this out today just by asking your team these 5 simple questions. Do our students need to disclose when they use AI? Can they use it for brainstorming? What about for writing assignments? Just having this conversation starts to build that minimal policy and gives everyone some much-needed clarity. All right, on to challenge number 2, the one-size-fits-all trap. The reality is, a single, top-down, district-wide policy rarely works for everyone. To actually be effective, AI implementation has to be localized.
I mean, just look at this example. In North Carolina, the state guidance is all about workforce development, but over in California, the focus is way more on creative problem solving. Those are 2 totally different goals, right? It just goes to show a single template isn't going to cut it.
And this idea of localizing can be a really powerful tool for equity. In Santa Ana, California, the superintendent sees AI not as this big regulatory problem, but as a chance for his community to gain new skills and catch up. Their policy is being tailored to what their community actually needs. And hey, the data totally backs this up. This isn't just a nice idea. Among districts that do have policies, 68% already tweak them for different grade levels, and 57% adapt them for different subjects. So localization, it's not really an option, it's an absolute necessity if you want a policy to actually work. Okay, so we know a localized approach is key, but that can sound like a ton of work, which brings us right to roadblock number 3, not enough time and not enough money. So how do you make real progress when budgets are tight and everyone's plate is overflowing? You start small to win big. So first things first, you just gotta kick things off, and it can start with just one meeting. You know, a single, focused, 30 to 45-minute all-staff gathering is really all it takes to explain the basics, offer some initial guidance, and just collect the biggest questions from your team. That's your launch. And from there, you don't need some huge, formal committee. Just empower a small, voluntary working group of maybe 3 to 5 educators who are passionate about this stuff. They can meet informally and start to develop targeted guidance without adding a massive new burden to anyone's schedule. Then, to keep that momentum going, you just leverage the structures you already have. Add a quick 3 to 5 minute AI update to your existing faculty or department meetings. See? You're integrating the work right into your current flow instead of trying to create a whole new process from scratch. Okay, so you've started small, you've got a localized policy taking shape. That brings us to our 4th and final challenge. How do you even know if it's working? Especially if you don't want to create a mountain of new paperwork. Well, the key here is to use some simple rule-of-thumb metrics. Are students getting a consistent message from class to class? Are your teachers feeling more confident talking about this? Are students engaging with AI in more thoughtful ways?
These aren't formal reports, they're just things you notice.
Yeah, the whole goal here is to assess how you're doing through observation, not more administration. It's about noticing the trends in hallway conversations, in the quality of student work, and in the confidence of your staff, not about filling out another form. And honestly, here's the ultimate litmus test. If your staff and students are showing some genuine enthusiasm and curiosity, you're on the right track. But if your AI policy just feels like one more bureaucratic chore to check off, that's a huge sign that it's too complicated and it isn't really helping.
And that really brings us to what might be the single most important takeaway from all of this. This quote says it all. Taking an imperfect step forward is infinitely better than being stuck in place, afraid to make a mistake.
I mean, think about it. With a technology that's changing this fast, the goal can't possibly be perfection. The most successful schools are the ones that really embrace this idea, that their first attempt won't be their last. They see imperfection as a necessary and actually valuable step toward getting better.
So we'll leave you with this one thought. You've seen the roadblocks, and now you have the practical tools to get around them. The only real question left is, what's your first small step going to be?